In breaking news, a bombing suspect, 28-year-old Ahmad Khan Rahami, is reported captured in Linden, New Jersey by authorities. He was being sought in connection with a bomb that exploded in Manhattan over the weekend, injuring 29 people. A naturalized U.S. citizen from Afghanistan, Rahami resides in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and was described as armed and dangerous by New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio after a series of bombs were found, including one in Elizabeth that was detonated by authorities using a robot. Officials employed technology in this manhunt, delivering an emergency alert via mobile devices to notify people for the search for Rahami. Joining us now to discuss is WSJ tech editor Brian Fitzgerald. Hi, Brian. Great to see you. We don't yet know for sure how the suspect was apprehended and whether this new technology had something to do with it.
Right. We don't know that.
We don't know that. But I, along with everyone else in New York this morning, heard the alert go off on my cell phone at 8 a.m. and was struck by the fact that this is the first time I'd seen one for a manhunt. I'd seen them for Amber Alerts, weather alerts. Was this the first time authorities?
Well, that's one question we're asking FEMA, which is the organization that largely is in charge of this, and the FCC and local. I don't know personally. We're asking that because I wouldn't receive an alert, if one was sent out in Minnesota, for example. We do know a colleague of mine, Ryan Knutson, did find out that an alert was sent in Los Angeles in the airport shooting. So this type of alert was used in a sort of breaking of the moment criminal nature. And that's what it's there for. It's one of the three uses. The president can send alerts if people are in danger, which is a really large writ, and Amber Alerts.
And they can be sent on local, state, and nationwide?
That's right.
Do we know whether this particular alert was sent just to people in the New York City area?
Well, that makes sense. So I would say the New York region, and that would include a lot of commuters come in from New Jersey, so we know people in New Jersey receive that kind of alert. So I would say, probably the New York commuting region.
Right. Now, we have been receiving these as Amber Alerts for a while, weather alerts. Can you turn off these alerts?
You can turn off some. And I think a lot of people did when they received the 4 a.m. Amber Alert in 2013. That was sort of the alert. It was about a year.
Introduction.
Yeah, it really was. And it was kind of like, wow, we can get these? Well, this is terrible timing. 4 a.m., you woke me up. I'm going to turn it off. So you can unsubscribe from Amber Alerts, and you can unsubscribe, I believe, from the notifications, warnings. What you can't unsubscribe from is alerts from the president, which I've never received one.
I have yet to receive one as well. And of course, like we said earlier, we don't yet know whether this had anything to do with the suspect's apprehension today, but it will be certainly interesting to find that out.
Sure, and there's a lot of debate about whether or not this kind of alert is useful. I mean, if you go on Twitter right now, most people who are posting about it are arguing over whether or not this helps the situation or not. And some people believe anything is additive, anything to help capture, while others think it just raises people's fear level, if you will, and while doing nothing to actually help apprehend somebody. So that's, whether or not these alerts are useful is the question, or a question, but we know that a lot of them have been sent out. There have been more than 22,000 such alerts sent out, the FCC says.
Well, they certainly got all of our attention this morning. Of course, when they were sent out initially, there was no picture attached.
That's right. There really are limitations with this service. 90 characters, no links, no pictures, which is, is problematic.
Yes, but it just gets you nervous, but you don't even know what the guy looks like.
Right, so but you have a name, right? And so it's just like, there's just a lot of ambiguity around that. And so that's part of the refinement process. These alerts are relatively new. The fact that we're talking about it now, even though it's been around for years, tells me that people are coming to grips with it. And so the FCC and FEMA are still working out how to best use these kinds of alerts.
Right, absolutely. Technology at work. Brian, thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having me.